Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into Rebecca Yarros' huge hit, Fourth Wing. You know, the first book in the Empyrean series.
That's the one. Big buzz around it.
Absolutely. So our mission here is pretty simple. We're digging into a detailed review to pull out the key insights for you. Think of it as a shortcut to understanding why everyone seems to be talking about this book. The review itself kicks off saying it's addictive and emotionally charged. That definitely grabs your attention.
It does. And we're going to break down what makes it tick, according to that review. You know, the plot, the themes, writing style, characters.
So you, the listener, can quickly get why it struck such a chord.
Exactly. You'll get the core appeal.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The review highlights Fourth Wing as a fantasy novel, but one that kind of bridges young adult, YA, and new adult, or NA. What exactly does that mean in practice?
Right. Well, it suggests the book has that approachable, often fast-paced feel you find in a lot of YA fantasy. But it layers in maybe more complex emotional situations, a bit more maturity, darker themes sometimes that you'd expect more in new adult fiction.
Interesting. And the review flags specific themes too, right? Resilience and power.
Yes, those are central. It's not just about, battles and magic, though there's plenty of that. It's also about inner strength, about the sheer grit needed to survive in this world Yarros has built. That kind of internal resilience seems to be a major focus.
That makes sense. Let's talk about the writing style itself. The review uses this phrase, YAI, accessibility with adult grit. What's that feel like for the reader?
Well, accessibility suggests it's probably easy to dive into, right? You're not immediately swamped with overly dense world building, which can sometimes happen in fantasy.
Sure, keeps it moving.
Exactly. But then the adult grit, that points to the stakes feeling higher, maybe the consequences being more severe, and relationships or conflicts having more complexity or intensity than you might find in a story aimed strictly at a younger YA audience.
So it pulls you in easily, but doesn't shy away from the tough stuff.
That seems to be the idea Yarros is going for, yeah. And the review suggests she pulls it off.
Got it. Now, characters are obviously huge in a story like this. The review points to Violet Sorrengail, the protagonist, and Xaden Riorson. Why are they so key?
Oh, they're absolutely crucial. Violet's journey is sort of the embodiment of those themes we mentioned: resilience, finding power when you feel powerless. She's apparently quite relatable because she starts from a place of perceived weakness.
Okay, so her growth drives the story.
Very much so. And then Xaden Riorson, he's the main romantic interest. And their dynamic is flagged as a major source of that emotionally charged element the review mentioned right at the start.
Ah, the romance angle.
Definitely. It sounds like their relationship is pretty central, not just to the romance plot, but to the main plot and the emotional core of the book, too.
I was bringing it all together. Who does the review say this book is actually for? It mentions fast-paced fantasy, strong romance, and dragons.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear on that. It's aimed squarely at readers who love a story that moves quickly, keeps you turning pages,
Right.
and who really enjoy a prominent, maybe intense romantic storyline alongside the fantasy elements. And of course, if you like dragons, that's a big draw here too.
Can't forget the dragons.
Definitely not. It's that combination, the fast plot, the romance, the dragon lore, that seems to create that addictive quality the review keeps coming back to.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the core takeaway seems to be Fourth Wing's smart mix of that easy-to-get-into YA feel with more mature, gritty elements. Plus, the strong focus on resilience and a central, charged romance.
That sums it up well. It explains why it might appeal across different reader groups within fantasy.
So here's something for you to think about after listening. How does mixing those strong romantic elements, which are maybe more typical of NA or romance genres, with traditional fantasy staples like dragon lore, actually work to make a book feel addictive?
And maybe what does that success tell us about where popular fantasy might be heading, how it might be evolving?
Interesting question to ponder. That's all for this deep dive.
Until next time.